Good evening, rather good morning. It is 3 a.m. in the morning, 30th December 2019, practically one day away from New Year 2020. And as a company, we are one day away from filing for the bank license in Singapore. But today, I am going to be discussing something which is very relevant. When I started my career, I used to be a part of many WhatsApp groups, but today Treasury Consulting himself having 44 WhatsApp groups. I quitted majority of the WhatsApp groups one by one. Officially speaking, today I am not a part of a single WhatsApp group which is being maintained by except Treasury Consulting Group. Because managing 44 WhatsApp groups of your own company apart from all these things is also a very big job. But that is not the only reason why I left WhatsApp groups. One of the biggest reasons why I left many WhatsApp groups one by one is of course time, and also one thing which is coming and I am observing from the last so many years is that the analytical skills of the people is falling at a much faster pace. In fact, I would say that the analytical skill of people is falling more than the governance is falling in many corporates in India. And when I raise this voice, people don't like that because they always wanted to hear the rosy things. India shining, achhe din, all and all these things. But our channel talk holistic. We are one day away from filing of the bank license in Singapore, and when me and my team were filling the form of banking license, there was one column suggested by Monetary Authority of Singapore is that digital bank is going to be providing the services of credit rating agencies, basically a service of credit rating. I thought a lot whether to click this or not click this. In fact, honestly speaking, I took more than one day. Generally, those who know me personally, they know that I always decide upfront. I am a very straight person and I never take much time to decide because I know what I need to do and what I not need to do. But here I took more than one day to decide is should Treasury Consulting go for credit rating or not as a business. Then I decided no, we will not enter into this muddy business which is nothing but a business of fraud. Don't worry, like other videos, I have the data to prove that. This is part 1. Part 2 is, a lot of people asking me, do you have any evidence that Indian regulators are actually paid? I am every time asking that. I have many evidences, but this time I am going to give you the evidence which upfrontly tells that Indian regulators are not performing their duty for what they supposed to. Rather, the amount of money which we are paying to Indian regulator in the form of salary is a waste of taxpayer money. And I have the proof of that and I am going to prove you today. Please be rest assured. There are 4 basic pillars in every financial markets. Whether it is United States, Singapore, Europe, London, wherever. Number 1 is the government. No comments. Right. Number 2, judiciary. No comments. Number 3, basically the framework, the law or the regulators. No comments. But when it comes to these 3 things in Singapore, comments. Government, 10 out of 10. Judiciary, 10 out of 10. Regulator, 9 out of 10. Or rather, 8.5 out of 10. Fourth important pillar of any financial market is the credit rating agencies. For what the credit rating agencies was actually established, that it is an independent body whose job is to protect the investor. Because every investor is not financially sophisticated person. So simple example, if you go to any computer shop You have many malls in Singapore. You go to any computer shop and just take a piece of paper and start making a survey of all the people, those who are buying computers of different brands, HP, Apple, Samsung, multiple companies, and ask 5 or 6 technical questions which can only be known only to the person, those who make computers, or basically those who work in the designing department or the product department of Apple, Samsung, HTC, HP and all these companies. I'm sure 99.99% might not be able to answer because they are not an expert in that. Similarly, millions and millions of people worldwide are relying on the credit rating agencies because the job of giving the answers is being outsourced to the credit rating agencies. And according to me, they are the fourth and the most strongest pillar we have in the financial market. But the biggest question is, are they playing their role? Or rather, they diluted their role much after the 2008 financial crisis. You know, on often basis I speak with bankers on Reuters, Bloomberg, everywhere. And most of the times when I interact with bankers, I'm always saying, isn't that you're a foreign banker, you gave me the education, you taught me, I'm giving you an indemnification. But for me, the biggest reason behind 2008 financial crisis is not Lehman, it is not Bear Stearns, rather it is the credit rating agencies, those who do not have competence, number one, only for the sake of money they did everything. But the hard reality is, after 2008, majority of the media, which is also paid and bloody incompetent, they not highlighted this part. I went, Treasury Consulting always have a habit of collating the data, and before making a video, we put the data in the public domain. We never speak without the data. We know there are many people, those who have personal grudges against us and they go to YouTube and dislike that. Who cares? Because 24 hours after this video, I am filing the bank license in Singapore. My vision of making video is not to earn the monetization. Guys, did you notice that none of our videos coming is having an ad? If you click any of the video on the YouTube, you find an ad. But none of our videos brings an ad. What do you think? Is the monetization, is the YouTube not give me the monetization? The second largest YouTube channel of the globe. We do have monetization for both of our channels, but we not activated that. Who cares about $200 to $300 which we get per month from the advertisement which will come on our channel? We wanted to publish the truth. So we never worry about the viewership, we never worry about the subscription, because we know that the content which we are publishing, one day the whole globe will recognize this content, because no media is talking about that. And YouTube is not our source of income. It's a Treasury Consulting is a very big consultancy firm, and we operate in 3 countries, and we are now starting in Saudi Arabia in 2020. We are entering into the petroleum business. So I go to Google and I collected some data. I love data, because somebody rightly pointed that data is the basic foundation of the learning. And I always believe that if you really wish to learn something new in your life, then first thing which you need to learn is the data. If you know the data and if you know how to interpret the data, then most of your problems in your life will get resolved. That's what I always believe. I went to internet, and although I agree that this is not the comprehensive list because I don't have much time, it is already 3 a.m. in the morning and I'm shooting the video to you. So I collated few important points, rest I have in a magazine and a newspaper reading. Standard & Poor fined by regulators $1.4 billion in 2015. Note this. Standard & Poor fined by the regulators $1.4 billion in 2015. According to the same data, it wiped out the entire profit of the rating firm of that year. ESMA, European Securities Markets Authority, fined Moody's approximately 1.24 million euro for credit rating breaches somewhere in June 2017. ESMA fines Moody's roughly 1.24 billion euro for credit rating breaches June 2017. So 2015 is not far, 4-year-old, 2017, 2 years old. But hold on, more data is there. Moody's paid approximately $864 million as a fine or a penalty for ratings in run-up to 2008 financial crisis, and that is 2017. So Moody's paid $864 million. Once again, Moody's paid $16 million to failed to ensure the accuracy of the statistical models. ESMA, once again, European Securities Market Authority, fined approximately 5.13 million euro for breaches of conflict of interest, which includes Fitch UK, Fitch France and Fitch Spain. And this is dated 28th March 2019. 28th March 2019. We are in 2019 still. 1 day to go for, in fact 2 days to go for New Year. ESMA, once again, European Securities Market Authority, fined 5 banks. Danske Bank, Nordea Bank, Scandia, Seventia and Swedbank, and about the manipulation in the credit rating without proper authorization, and the amount is 4,95,000 euro each. Time do not permit me, else I would have collated more data about the great deals done by international credit rating agencies. We all know that majority of these rating agencies are having their Indian subsidiaries. India is always a conducive market for fraud. Why don't they do these things in Singapore? Why don't they do these things in Dubai? And whenever they do these things worldwide, they are being heavily fined. Remember that $1.4 billion fines paid by Standard & Poor is not less than 6 to 7,000 crores. And all the fines which I mentioned, 1.24 million euro, 864 million US dollars, $16 million, 5.13 million euro, and once again around 500k euro each. This is all huge amount. This is not small amount. This is definitely not small amount. But infrastructure, leasing and financial services and Diwan housing, Yes Bank and multiple frauds happened in India only because the fourth pillar of the financial market, which is credit rating agencies, they were not sleeping, paid. And what happened? When it comes to our regulators, Security and Exchange Board of India, they fined these credit rating agencies only 25 lakh each. Now just take a cool stance. One side we are having international regulators, those who are fining millions and billions to teach the lessons to these credit rating agencies. One side we have Singapore, where these events do not happen because Monetary Authority of Singapore and Government of Singapore will just cancel the license if they do that. And one side we have Security and Exchange Board of India, who fines 25 lakh rupees each. I take a hold here. Now let me read. The Security and Exchange Board of India on Thursday, today is what? Sunday, so latest. Security and Exchange Board of India on Thursday fined rating agencies ICRA, CARE and India Ratings and Research 25 lakhs each for failing to exercise due diligence and for lapses in their duty to investors by not taking timely action when they rated non-convertible debentures of infrastructure, leasing and financial services. Can I ask one question from infrastructure, leasing and financial services? Well, I need the computer, right? Because read this carefully. SEBI punitive action are rare as SEBI has responded to the previous deficiencies in the conduct of the rating agency by either increasing regulatory compliances or allow them to settle via consent. And the same suggests that the matter pertaining to the September 2018 when ILFS defaulted on debt obligation triggering a liquidity crisis in the financial market, the default by ILFS, Infrastructure Leasing and Financial Services, and its subsidiaries left 99,354 crores whole in financial system. How much? 99,350 crores. Am I correct? This is scientific calculator. 25 lakh each into 3 credit rating agencies. It means 0.75 crores. Okay? Divided 99,350 crore. Oh. It is 7.54 into 10 raised to the power minus 4. So even it is not 1%. Many people are asking me that our regulators are paid or they are doing the punitive action for the sake of formality. Total whole created by infrastructure, leasing and financial services in the country is 99,354 crores. I am not saying this, data is saying this. Total punitive action done on the credit rating is 75 lakhs. 25 into 3, 75 lakhs. When I divide 75 lakhs with this number, it is not even 1%, though before dividing I know that it is not 1%. It is not even 1% of 1%. Now I leave the question to you or the answer to you to decide. You still believe that our regulatory agencies are actually justifying their responsibility. I would be very pleased to set up a credit rating company in India if I am able to do the fraud of this amount and fine of only 75 lakhs. But the story has not yet ended. Story has just begun. You know, I'm a regular reader of a lot of magazines. I read a lot of magazines every day because I love reading. So what I did, I took this magazine and I got a very eye-catching data which confirms something. There is a sharp decline in the number of funds invested in the credit rating agencies over the last 3 years. In 2016 on CRA rating, 76 fund schemes invested, and by 2019 this 76 reduced to 9. Excellent performance. In 2016 when it comes to CRISIL, 39 and now it reduced to 10. Super excellent. And 2016 ICRA, 17, now it is 12. This data himself confirmed that the funds also lost the trust on credit rating. But my story not yet ended, my story rather started from here. I go to the next page and I got a data which just I would say I was confused that is also happening. Reliance Industries is the major gainer over the last 3 years amongst oil and gas stocks in terms of increasing their share in mutual fund portfolio. Okay. In 2016, Reliance Industries Limited total share in the mutual fund portfolio when it comes to oil and gas segment, remember it's not total, when it comes to oil and gas segment, 28.65%. It grew to 45.98, roughly 46%, or 18% increase. Bharat Petroleum decreased from 14.8 to 11.2%. Indian Oil Corporation from 8.63% to 9.74%. And last, the ONGC got roughly 7.52 to 8.81. Practically speaking, practically speaking, others, BPCL, Indian Oil, ONGC and HPCL, their share in oil and gas when it comes to the mutual fund investment decreased and Reliance increased. And do not forget that credit rating agency, a broker, which is Credit Suisse, they already raised some concerns about Reliance debt. And why Reliance? Yesterday we shooted a video in which, we showed that around 47 companies raised around $21 billion outside India, which is 6-year high, and Reliance is one of them. They are raising a huge amount of money outside market. Just try and link these three things and you get the answer what I wanted to convey. Number one, the international rating agencies are paying hefty fine in billions of dollars effective 2015. In fact, much before that they were paying, but I don't have time to scrutinize each and every data. In India, infrastructure leasing and financial services is not the only scam. Rather, it is one of the scams that happen. We have Diwan Housing, we have Yes Bank, we have ICICI, we have Axis Bank, and the Bhushan Steel, Jindal Steel and what not. The list is very long. But somehow, the so-called regulator Security and Exchange Board of India fined 3 rating agencies, ICRA, CARE and India Ratings, around 25 lakh each for not performing their duties. Total fraud is roughly 1 lakh crore and total fine on 3 is 25 lakh each into 3, which is 75 lakhs. Other mistake which we are doing is that mutual funds are taking heavily exposure on one company, and whose debt is growing, that is in the public domain. We know that. At the expense of another companies. And last but not the least, the more important thing which is happening in India is that these rating agencies are not only fined on seldom basis, rather most of the time their fines never come in the public domain. So assume that on a 1 lakh crores of fine, you only find 75 lakhs. I would like to wind up this video with 3 simple questions to all of our listeners and readers. Question number 1. Don't you think that we should also start a credit rating company and keep RBI and SEBI into the loop and rest you know? Do you really think that the Indian subsidiaries of international credit rating agencies, and in fact why Indian subsidiaries, the international credit rating agencies themselves doing the job for which they assigned to? Third question, don't you think that all 4 financial pillars of the financial market, all 4 basic pillars of financial market, which is government, which is judiciary, which is regulators, and fourth and very important pillar, which has to be independent, who has to be independent, credit rating agency. All four are almost collapsed. My last line. We never thought these frauds happened, but they happened. And I'm telling you one thing, a big collapse is round the corner in India. A big collapse. Now it's up to you. If you really wish to give us this thumbs down on YouTube, we don't worry. Because I'm 24 hours away from filing a bank license in Singapore, and my dream to become a bank in Singapore started. And Singapore is not the only country where we are filing the bank license. We will replicate this in Hong Kong, Switzerland and South Korea. And more importantly, Treasury Consulting is launching FICC exchanges, fixed income currency and commodity exchanges. You open your so-called Google and type FICC exchanges, you get no data, and we are launching that. I'm very happy of what Treasury Consulting achieved in last 3.5 years and what we envisaged for 2020. But one thing, before closing the video, we would like to assure you that our YouTube channel will continue to speak what is a reality. We really don't bother about the people, about the regulator, about anybody, and we never shoot video to please specific corporate groups. With this, we thank you very much. You know my mobile number, +91 9899242978, +91 9899242978. You know our fixed income platform, www.fixedincome.global. Have a great time and talk soon.